Hey everyone, welcome to Malts and Meeples. Today we are jumping into the first ever recorded content here that isn't just an introductory video with the 3 reasons buy or not buy. This is going to be a series that I'm doing and probably one that is going to continue for a long time, where I look at a game in my collection and give you a reason why. Well, 3 reasons why you should buy it and 3 reasons why you shouldn't buy it. Because I don't think there's any game out there that's 1, perfect, or 2, that fits in everybody's collection. So, let's dive in and take a sip with the first game that I'm doing this with, which is Gloomhaven. So, let's talk about what this game is. Gloomhaven is a massive dungeon crawl campaign style game where you are taking a group of characters, not necessarily heroes, but characters through a dungeon crawl, leveling them up, and then eventually when a certain condition is reached for whatever character, that character retires. Then you unlock a new character and you can pick from the available characters what character to continue the journey with. It is an epic, massive board game. So, that's a little bit of what the game is. I'm not going to go into really how it plays, unless it's in some of my reasons why to buy or not buy. But let's jump into those reasons at this point, and let's start with those 3 reasons why you wouldn't want to buy Gloomhaven. First, this is a massive game. Now, I am just talking about the size at this point. This is a big game that takes a lot of room to store. It does not travel easily, and there's so much going on in here that it takes a long time to learn. Just the amount of content in this box is enough to keep you going for a while, and just learning the game, though once you have it down, it can flow pretty well. It takes a while to get into, and even just to punch everything out. Gloomhaven is a massive, massive size. The second thing ties into that, and that's that in this box, you can't really see it, but it's overflowing with stuff, and that's because I have a wooden insert in there. So the wooden insert, in my opinion, is almost a must-have for Gloomhaven. So this is already a $100 game, or $120 game, I think, but you can find it generally now for about $100, and you need probably a $50 to $100 organizer to make this game easier to get to the table. It's still not easy to get to the table because this is 23 pounds, probably 24 with the organizer, and there's so much in here that no matter how well they can organize it, there's still a ton of setup to do. And that actually leads into my third thing, the commitment to playing this game. This is not a small game. This is not a short game. This is a game that's going to be one you play weekly for a year or 2. I have beat the whole game, and it took me 2.5 years with 2 other people, well, almost 3 years, I think, with a few breaks in there, every other week And we managed to still pull off some like 3-session weekends as well to get through 3 scenarios. It took us in between 2.5 to 3 years. You have to have a committed group or the commitment to play it solo because of the size of this campaign. This campaign is probably too big to fit in your collection. But on the flip side, we have our 3 reasons to buy. Number 1, because of the commitment. Now you might just be like, well, that was just a negative. But that commitment is great. This game is massive. It has so much going on, so much depth, that this can become a lifestyle game for you for a very long time. And it's worth it. There's such interesting mechanics going on, the story's good, and there's always something else to figure out or to find out. Plus, it is number 1 on BGG, and number 1 for me for a reason. And one of those reasons, which is my number 2 reason to buy this, is because of the card play. Now, card play might seem a little bit odd as a reason why you'd want to buy this, because there's so many cards in this, and a lot of dungeon crawlers focus more on dice chucking. Well, Gloomhaven creates some really interesting card play, and this is going to be the main mechanic that I talk about with this, where Gloomhaven has you playing 2 cards, and you're going to play the top half of one and the bottom half of the other, but you're playing them to get into initiative order, and you don't know if you're going to act first, second, third. You might be the last character to go, even after the bad guys. So you have to create something that is going to help the group, but also is flexible enough to then adjust as plans change. And being able to do that, and being able to craft your deck as you level up, swapping in and out cards, is a ton of fun. Plus, then you're trying to manage your cards, because some of your really powerful actions burn a card, so it's lost for that scenario. And if you run out of cards, you're done. Like, that's one of the ways you can get knocked out of a scenario. So there's this hand management puzzle as you play cards, get them back, and try and cycle them in such a way so that you're being as efficient with your damage as possible, as well as your movement. And finally, we have the characters in the game. And you can see along the side of the box here, all 6 starting characters. These characters are fun to play. And these are the 6 basic starting characters. Then I think there's something like 17 total, or slightly more. I might be off, I don't remember the precise number. But they're all different. And I'm not going to get in too much and spoil stuff, but let me back this up and let me point out some of these different characters. We have the Tinkerer over here. This character is very much a support character, but can do a lot of interesting things. It can summon monsters or creatures under its control onto the board. We have the Scoundrel next to it. This character is so fast and is about dealing big pops of damage. Over here, we have the Brute. That's going to be your tank character that you can play. Over here, we have a Craighheart who can manipulate the items in the room to deal damage and kind of do some of that area control sort of things that you need. We have the Mind Thief over here, and honestly, I forget the name of this one, but they're all interesting characters. And then there's another like I said, I think it's another 10, maybe 11 on top of that all play differently. This game not only gives you these different characters, but going back to that card play, it allows you to tailor the character to what you want. I could have made my Tinkerer to be more aggressive, to be more focused on combat, or I could have really leaned into support. You have that choice when constructing how you're adding cards for that character and what you do. So, this is the first probably of a number of videos that are going to be coming out of the reasons, or 3 reasons buy or not buy. This game I obviously love, but as you heard towards the middle part here, there are certainly reasons not to buy this game. So I want you to know those reasons, as well as the reasons why I really think for a lot of people you should get this game and you should play this game. But for that, bottoms up.